and congratulations on your new job at the Bartolotta's Grain Exchange. I've been working for the company for 2 years now, and just like you, I was once a new server. The reason I'm creating this video is because when I began, there was no form of training. On my first day, I was just thrown in. I burned my hands, forgot orders, dropped glasses, and dropped many plates. However, while some of these do come with the territory of serving, I want to provide you with some basic training so you're not nearly as frazzled as I was on my first day. Now what I want you to do is imagine your wedding. What you picture is good times, good food, drinks, fun, being surrounded by the people you love, and your family. However, what you don't think about is how much the servers can affect the event and the atmosphere that poor service can create at your wedding. We've all been there. A wedding or a restaurant where the server is either undertrained, rude, or a combination of both. Is there anything worse than the server handing you your drink by the rim of the glass, or taking your food before you're done, or them ignoring you even when you've asked for your special drink or dessert several times? You don't want this to happen to your wedding, and it won't if the servers are given some quality basic training before they get into the weeds, which is a term us servers use if we're stressed or busy. Like everything in life, all it takes is training and experience. So here's some basic tips on how to be a good banquet server. Catering weddings is not something to be taken lightly. While you may just have it as a part-time job to pay for new clothing or pay off your student loans, catering is very important. According to bridalguide.com, catering is one of the most important aspects of any wedding. In an article entitled, "Your Guide to Weddings Catering," a recent bride writes, "What the guests won't forget easily? A great meal. They also won't forget a not so great meal." For both of those reasons, it makes sense to concentrate plenty of planning and energy on food, drink, service, and the atmosphere of your reception. Serving weddings and events in a catering event is a slightly different world than serving in a restaurant setting. For one, there are no busboys. As a caterer, you are a busboy, a server, a bartender, and you are anything that the guest needs. Serving events does not start the day of the event. For workers, it starts the day before. Before the guests even arrive the day of the event, the workers must bring in all the tables, organize the room per the guest request, stack the bars, polishing bars, glassware, organizing the room, polishing the glassware, dropping all the plates, and setting up everything that the guests need. While the portion of the event While this portion of the event does not seem nearly as important as the main event itself, it is crucial. When the bride and guests first walk into the room, you want them to be blown away. If they walk in and it does not meet their expectations, that will set the tone for the rest of the evening. So make sure the wedding is exactly what the bride wants is of the utmost importance. In advance of the main event, the staff always arrives an hour and a half before the guests are expected. This is to assure that we will put the finishing touches on the entire room. During this time, you will be assigned one of 4 tasks. New people are assigned mainly 1 or 2 tasks. That is either polishing bar glassware or doing bread and butter. Polishing glassware is something really small but adds a great amount of detail. It's the difference between a nice sparkling glass or something dusty that has dishwashing stains on it. While it's not something you may think is important, guests will notice if there's anything wrong with the glass. Or bread and butter. Bread and butter is relatively simple, but it's very time consuming. Bread, you have to fill up as many bread baskets as there are tables with at least 12 pieces of bread. The general rule of thumb is 1.5 pieces per bread per each person at the table. And then butter is 2 butter plates per table, and with 3 pieces of butter, each in an aesthetically pleasing arrangement. After your setup tasks, it's time for our family meal. In our family meal, our managers will tell us everything we need to know about the night. They will go over the timetable. They will also go over your team. The team is the most important part for your first day because you will be given your first captain. The captain of the team is the main server, and on each team there's 3 people most of the time. You will either be position 2 or 3. The captain is always position number 1. The captain, during the time after the meeting, will go over which tables we have and what position you are. There will be normally between 4 to 5 tables, and these are the only tables you have to worry about the entire night. While there are many other tables, there are different servers for those tables. Those 5 tables you have, you're responsible for the drinks, the food, clearing them, and doing anything that the guests would like. After you meet with your captain, it's time to do like little side things until the guests arrive, like putting the finishing touches of the rooms, such as lighting candles and getting water pitchers ready. Guest arrival is probably the most exciting part of the night. One of the most exhilarating moments in catering is when the guests come in and see the room for the first time. It gives you a sense of satisfaction that all of your hard work you did has paid off. During this time period, it's basically a cocktail hour where the guests arrive and drink. Greeting guests is crucial. It makes them feel welcome, and it also allows them to know that you're there for them if they have any questions or concerns. During this time period, you'll mostly be showing the guests around. They will ask most of the time where their tables are, where the bathrooms are, and where the bars are. It's important to never point. It's very closed and the guests will feel off-put by it. It's really nice if you would guide them either way. However, if you don't have time, you're supposed to gesture with an open palm. After this, the guests normally arrive in the first 30 minutes, so the last portion of the cocktail hour you can spend getting ready, getting your water pitchers ready, and making sure your tables have everything they need. It's now time to serve your table. As stated before, the captain will put you in your position. Based on how many guests are seated at the table will determine on how many plates you have to carry. As a new employee, you will not have to worry about figuring out how many people are at your table. The captain will do that. You just have to make sure to listen. You will go into the kitchen and your captain will tell you how many plates to grab. From here, you will all leave as a team, the captain first, position 2 second, and position 3 third. You will walk to the table and find who you're supposed to serve. This is in a specific order. Position number 1 is always the position most north in the room. So let's imagine a scenario. If you're position 3 and there's 8 people at a table, you will stand behind position 7. That is because the captain will hold 3 plates. Second position will also hold 3 plates, but you will hold 2. Position 1, the captain, will serve guest 1, 2, and 3. This always moves in a clockwise position. So number 1, north, number 2 is to the left, and then number 3 to the left, and so on and so forth. So the captain will again serve position 1, 2, and 3. Position 2 will stand behind position 4 and serve 4, 5, and 6, and then as position 3 you would serve 7 and 8. You always want to serve to the left of the guest using your left hand, like this, so that the person here will have your body open to them, not closed off if you served with your right hand. You will do this for each one of your tables. With each table, your captain will tell you what to grab. You just have to make sure to listen to them. During dinner service, allergies have to be at the forefront of your mind. If your captain tells you there is an allergy, you have to be very mindful of that. As said in foodallergies.org pamphlet, welcoming guests with food allergies, they write, when individuals with food allergies dine away from home, they must rely on the food service staff to provide them with accurate information about ingredients, as that they can make an informed decision on what to order. As a server, it is your responsibility to make sure that nothing happens to the guests. When they're here, they are in our care, and the worst thing would have them have something that's contaminated with something they can't have and have to be driven to the hospital. In between each course, we offer a wine service. This is a time to cherish because it is very slow paced. Other times you're running around, but right now guests have just gotten their food, they're eating, they're talking, they're enjoying themselves. Pouring wine is an art, and it is not something that you will be good at right away. I'm still not very good at it. What we normally offer is a choice between a Chardonnay or a Cabernet. Most people honestly will not know what those are, so you can say red or white. I always hold my red wine in my dominant hand and my white wine in my weaker hand, because if they want red, it's easier to pour and not drop than in my weaker hand. I'll often spill more, so I pour my red with my dominant hand so I don't spill as much. While you're pouring, you want to make sure to twist your wrist to catch any drops. Almost immediately when we were done with wine service, it will get a little hectic because in 5 minutes you have to clear 50 or more place settings. You want to always go from the right to grab, just like you go with the left to place down. You grab from the right. If the plate is clear, you do not have to ask the guest, but you always want to grab the proper utensils with each. If there's a little bit of food but they look done, you can go to the guest and ask, "Are you done with that? Or may I take this plate from you?" They will either say yes or no. People really don't want their food taken early. They will get upset and you'll have to bring them a whole new meal. This happens between each course, and it is the most stressful part of the evening. However, if you follow all of these steps, your first day should go a lot easier than mine. What's important to remember is that everybody makes mistakes, but what you have to do is learn from them and move on. You cannot beat yourself over the little mistakes you make. Breaking a plate comes with the territory. And honestly, if you apologize, most people will forget about it. However, what's important is learning from it. The most rewarding part of this job is the final result. How happy we make people. I read a review on weddingwriter.com from a bride, Jenny, that I actually remember very well. She writes, "Maria, John, and Katie, who are our managers, are a fantastic professional team that will go above and beyond to make someone's wedding a memorable experience. All details were laid out and discussed in advance so that no stones were left unturned. The team also makes the time to get to know a couple and form. If any mishaps happened during the night, the bride and groom were not aware. Everything was taken care of swiftly and thoughtfully. We received so many compliments from our guests on the beautiful venue and the amazing catering. Knowing it's a part of the Bartolotta family leaves us at ease. Everything from the appetizers to the drinks to the entrees were superb." There were countless of reviews just like this. It makes me so happy that my 5 hours of hard work pays off and leaves a lasting impression on our guests for years to come. Thank you. I hope you enjoy your time.